So I hope the topic was very interesting, like always, and it will be like always in the Degen meetups. So, and right now we will have our last speaker, the last workshops, and this will be something special because in this occasion we want to show you how we mix things. So it will be something where we are able to mix blockchain and AI. And Szymon Paluch will tell us about decentralized AI, so powering machine learning with Golem Network. This is the topic. And Szymon is pioneering tech entrepreneur and strategist, co-founder of Diagnostyka Digital HUB and ex-CTO of uPacjenta, CEO UK. So warm applause for Szymon.
Thank you very much. My first question to you guys is, do we have any Degens here? Please, raise your hands. Degens? Come on, guys. I see one. I can say that I'm a Degen, and I think it's a good place for Degens here, because this place, this beautiful place, is with great history, with this great audience, is full of technology today. Technology that is close to my heart, two technologies especially. Breakthrough technologies, which are distributed networks and artificial intelligence. Distributed networks today will be talked with blockchain and Web3, but not from technical perspective, rather ideology and how this ideology could be transferred to the space of artificial intelligence. And we start with the second one. So, first of all, I want to take a closer look to today's AR market. And I separate four groups, four very important groups, which is hardware producers, NVIDIA, Intel, AMD. Those companies are focused on giving us the power, computing power, which is like blood in our veins. And then we have infrastructure providers like Azure. Last presentation was about Azure, but also Amazon, Google Cloud, and other. Those companies giving us also computer powers through servers, but also databases, all the networking stuff. Mega important things in whole AI and also IT industry. Then we have AI research and open source contributors. You know, OpenAI, but also DeepMind, Stability AI, Meta AI, new one, xAI. Companies, organizations, business units, institutions, they are giving us new models, working on machine learning algorithms. Very hard stuff, but I think we are now here because of them. And the last group is AI solutions developers. Those companies are providing us with services and products for clients. They are using machine learning algorithms, they're using models from other companies, and they are bringing AI to the people. Okay, so what insight can we find on this market? I want to share my thoughts. So first of all, this market is strongly centralized. Let's go back. You know, maybe Microsoft will be my first target. Microsoft is everywhere. Microsoft is everywhere in this market. You know, this is Azure. Azure is Microsoft platform, but Microsoft also is strongly connected to hardware producers. Good partnership with NVIDIA, AMD. Also, we have Microsoft connecting with OpenAI and Meta AI. Microsoft has these both companies to work with. Then we have Bing. So Microsoft is everywhere. Also, NVIDIA is everywhere. You know, this market is driven by few companies, the same group of people, the same group of engineers, because engineers are coming through all these companies. And then the second thing, large corporations. Large corporations, big tech is driving this AI growth. I'm not saying it's good or bad right now, but this is my first thought when I see this market. The first thing is that this market is not completely open. As we can see, we have OpenAI with open in the name, but OpenAI no more produces any white papers. Maybe one last paper about GPT-4 last time, but we don't know what they are working on, how the solutions works, what can we expect from them. The companies last time are more closed, are not sharing their knowledge, which is a big shift because at the beginning, a few years ago, there was a lot of white papers, a lot of conferences. We saw that the knowledge was shared. Right now, there is no more sharing the knowledge. Maybe Stability AI is sharing the knowledge, but other companies, other organizations are closing the knowledge from themselves. And there is one final thought about this market, that we have a lot of computer power needed to train models, to make research, to execute models, but a lot of supercomputers are in the hands of these large companies, big tech, and it's hard to access this power because if you are a small company, if you are private small company or a small institution, of course you can buy your GPUs, you can rent some GPUs, but it is not cheap. It is hard to get enough computer power to create something in big like GPT, for an example. But I will come back to this later in this presentation because this availability of computing power is one of the biggest thing in this market. But the main question is, why all this matters? Why all these insights are important? So to make some change in my presentation, I will talk now about Web3 and decentralization to show you why, in my opinion, this is important, that ideology behind this decentralization can be transferred to AI and can give the AI new powers. Okay. So I know we're here on Degen Meetup, so probably some of you are similar with these things like decentralization, distribution, Web3. But to be sure that all of you understands what I'm thinking about, I will do a little recap. So first of all, we have centralized system. Centralized systems are systems with one point on the center, which have hold the power over our data, over transactions we make, over who can access the network. This one central point can disconnect us from the network. This one central point can lie about our data, but also this one point can be broken. In example, by power, electricity, by disconnected to network. So this system can be very optimized, can be very efficient, but it also has downsides. Then we can make some decentralization. We can have few points, maybe not so efficient like this first one, but right now, if we have more than 1 point, we can disconnect from the one and connect to the other. We can check if data are the same, if no one is lying, or we cannot be so easily disconnected from the network. Then we can have this third figure with totally distributed systems. It's a special kind of decentralization when there is a lot of points. Every user of the system is the node of the system, so there is no way to lie to us, there is no way to be disconnected. And this is also very important when I'll be talking about the future of AI. There is one path that is strongly connected to these distributed systems. The second thing I want to show you is the idea of the next evolution of the internet, Web3. But if we have Web3, probably we had Web 1 and Web 2. And of course, there was Web 1. 90s was the internet called Web 1, when we have servers, centralized servers with data. Those servers give us data. We're consumers, users were consumers. We can't change the data, we can't create things. We only consume data like from TV, like from newspapers. Then comes the Web 2 with all these social media platforms, blog platforms, storing multimedia like YouTube, Spotify. When we as the users became creators, we can now not only read things, we can write things. It was a big revolution for the internet because now the servers became intermediates, became the platforms which exchanges the data between the users. One user was the creator and the rest was the consumers of data. But there was one missing puzzle of this whole system. We can't own the things, like digital own. When we create some kind of data, some kind of digital object, this intermediate was responsible for approving that we are owner. We need the platforms to say who is owning what. Is there one or many copies? We don't have unique objects. We don't have ownership. With Web3, there's an idea of digital ownership, of digital uniqueness, driven by technologies rather than third parties. So with this Web3 idea, the users can own the data, can own the digital objects, can transfer them. It is also connected to digital uniqueness. And now I want to show you when we can transfer these ideas from Web3 world, from decentralized world to AI market. So first of all, I think with this whole decentralization stuff, we can reduce the monopolistic control. Right now, we see benefits of these centralized systems. As I showed you before, centralized systems can be very efficient, and nowadays we have very fast growth on AI. I think it's mostly connected to this centralization, but we will see in few months, maybe few years, the stop in growth, because monopolistic systems most of the times are not efficient in the long run. They become not so efficient. They can become not so efficient in the future, and to not take the risk of this stop in AI growth, I think the reduce in monopolization of the market is very important. Then, right now we don't have enough model transparency. We have some few open models, but a lot of these commercial uses models like GPT are closed. We don't know how they work. We can try to guess how they work, but we don't know. There was a leak in GPT-4 model a few weeks ago, but it was leaked, not official data. And from my opinion, this is also very important thing. So we as a people can be prepared how this model work, can get the knowledge, wants to improve the growth of AI, improve security, improve our data, things about our data, improve what we can expect from this model, how they will work with us. The third thing is efficient resource utilization. I will show you in the next slide how nowadays looks the market if we're talking about the GPU units and the power they're presenting. Because right now, most of the computing power uses in AI, using in ML, is under control of this big corporates. And then there is third thing, innovation and collaboration. I still believe that open source idea, that collaboration is needed for efficient and fast growth. IT industry show it many times that a lot of open source give the advantages over other industries. So I still believe that also AI landscape should be driven by collaboration and innovation. Also, in the past, there was this way where all the basic knowledge from Google DeepMind was used by OpenAI to create first GPT models, large models. So there was a lot of openness, which drive the innovation past days. Now it stops. Okay, so let's take a closer look to this scale. This smaller ball is the GPT power to train GPT-4 model, about 2 million teraflops. At the same time, last year there was 500 times much in the AI-ready consumer GPU power. So we can say that there is 500 supercomputers on the market, but there is one problem. This power is distributed. This power is not in the one GPT unit. This power is in our homes. This power is in our companies, not in the one central server. But if we can only access this distributed power, it gives us possibilities to make some breakthroughs in the AI industry. So now I want to show you how the life cycle of ML model looks like, and then we can think about where we can connect this distributed power to a specific step of this life cycle to find the best fit. So first of all, we must define the problem we want to solve. Then we need to collect the data. Then we need to pre-process the data and train the model. Then comes the evaluation and the fine-tune. I can say that fine-tune, if you want to separate training from fine-tuning, training the model is like going to primary school when we learn a lot of different stuff, how the world is working. But then to go to our first job, we need some special training. University gives us the special training. We can gain special skills. It's not so long like in our primary school, but fine-tune is like going to the university. We are learning special skills. Then we need to deploy our model and execute it. Okay, and the last phase is the monitoring and maintaining of the model, and then we can go to redefine our problem, to collect new data, to create second version. So maybe I can ask you, where do you think decentralization can have the best fit in this life cycle? Train. I suppose you said this way, but in my opinion, I will say that these three steps have the best chances. And I will go to the training in a moment because it is also an important thing. But right now, we can do some funny things with data collection. We can use open data, blockchain data, like maybe one Polish startup, Cookie Free, is using open data from blockchain and make analysis of the data. We also can use some data from distributed networks. Then we can use techniques like, it's not so popular right now, but federated learning to make not collect the data from users centralized way, but to try to learn the model distributed way. I will go to this federated learning in a moment. But we can fine-tune the model. Fine-tune the model have the better chances than tuning the model, because right now we have this problem with distributed computational power. Right now, models are large. If we have a very large model like GPT, maybe 4, it's hard to train the data. We have a lot of data, because we have a lot of big data. Transfer them over internet is an issue. Then communicating these separate GPT units to synchronize them is an issue, because if you have a lot of GPUs in one place connected hardwarely, the data transfer is very fast. You can imagine you must transfer 80 giga of data through the internet, it is a problem. It is a very big problem right now. Maybe in the future it's possible, but right now we have too many data to store. But model fine-tuning can be done this way, can be done in a single card or big card, so we can apply distributed fine-tuning. And then there is one thing I think that is, in my opinion, the most optimistic, which is model execution. Just imagine this. If you learn the model, train the model, you need a lot of computing power, but then, after the training process, you don't need this power. You can create another model, but for this one model, you don't need this power. To execute the model, you also need computing power, but small part of this power. But then, this model will be executed many, many times, so you can use this distributed in example, distributed computing power to execute models and to auto-scale models in the distributed network. And the question is, if there is any product and a company that can deliver us with distributed computing power to do these things. And there is one, not only one, but today I can show you the Golem. Golem, which is the blockchain as an incentive layer product. Golem uses blockchain to incentive the nodes to share the GPU power, because Golem is also distributed computing power. Golem can be treated as a marketplace for computational power. Hey guys, it's a little bit too loud here. Thank you. Golem can be used as a computational power marketplace where nodes are delivering, competing on price for computational power. And Golem can be also used as decentralized application hosting. So we can take our trained model and execute this model on this network and automatically scale it through this network. So if you want to ask if Golem is making some steps into the AI world, I can say yes, because right now Golem is making a lot of research, a lot of analysis to find the best fit in this whole AI ecosystem. Golem is also making some work, so proof of concept, some MVPs, to check if the technology is working good in the AI stuff. So first of all, every presentation needs a funny cut. So we have a funny cut here. This funny cut was created by Stable Diffusion model, text-to-image model in the centralized network of Golem. So yes, we can execute Stable Diffusion models decentralized way. Then was the second test of distributed PyTorch workload. PyTorch is one of the famous library for ML algorithm execution. And here there was a problem with network latency, with data transferring. So this test was showing us that not all things are possible in distributed way right now. But then we can have the service of rent of GPU. We can rent GPU, start Jupyter, execute some machine learning model, decentralized way. And this renting service is working well in Golem distributed network. And there is one thing at the end, which is AI interference API, like Hugging Face, when we can take our trained model, upload it to the Golem network, and then execute it and auto-scale it. So to give you an example, we can have a game dev company. The game they created have NPCs. We want to talk with the NPCs like with the real players. And now we need, if we have not 1, 2, 10, but hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of players, they are talking with hundreds of NPCs using OpenAI API for talking with NPCs will be very, very expensive. But we can reduce this cost with auto-scaling our own models. So then, not only Golem is on the market, because other companies are also working to bring us decentralized GPU access, like iCache, like Render. There is Petals, which is trying to distribute these machine learning operations and do it well. So, you know, people see the chances in this market of distributed AI and working to bring it to the people. So now we have some challenges and limitations. First of all, I think we should talk about data privacy and security. Right now, this is a big issue here in this decentralized AI world, because, you know, when you upload your model and it's not open source, but it's your private model, someone can steal this model from you. This is also connected to the data, user data. If you have sensitive user data, there is a problem. People are working on solving these issues, but right now we must remember about this. Also, if you are uploading some things to Azure, to Amazon, Amazon and Azure can take your data, but we believe that these big companies have reputation and don't do that. But if we have distributed nodes, we can't believe anyone. So for now, we must remember, okay, open models are okay, not so secret models also. Data must be treated very, very carefully. Then model training. I talked about it before. Large models are now the big problem because distributed way of training large models isn't possible yet. We don't need large models every time. Probably, if we have specific tasks, we can train smaller models, but properly fine-tuning, which give us also great success rate. We can have very specific tasks, and probably in the business, this is more times we need specific smaller models than model like GPT-4, which is general model, so it's very big. But a lot of business needs specific tasks. So training smaller models is also possible right now. Few things about the future. I see the future. Efficient resource utilization is very important, and the work on security, on privacy, on bringing this distributed consumer power to the world, I think it will be done in the near future to train, to execute model by Golem or other companies. Smaller companies need this. Then I think collaborative learning, so we can exchange our knowledge, exchange our research success is also a big part of this whole AI market, and we need to focus on this. Then we have democratization and open models. I think open models like models from Hugging Face, models from open research are also needed for smaller companies, for researchers who want to know how the AI is working, because right now we don't have a fully understanding of how AI models are working. And the last thing, and in my opinion very promising, is the edge AI. Edge AI is AI which is trained and executed on the user devices. Right now, we can't do this. Even Apple have the small chips for AI, but for now, it's not big part. But in the future, maybe we can train our models distributed way on the user devices and not required from users to send the data to the central servers. Then we can train the models on the user devices to create personalized AI models for the users. And I think it's also a big part of the future of AI. So at the end, I show you the Golem. I'm an advisor at Golem and helping them with the product stuff. Golem is working on bringing decentralized computing power to AI, but Golem is also working on other products, DeFi products, Web3 products internally. And Golem is also looking for partnership with smaller companies. If you have idea how to use distributed GPU power, how to use Golem, if you have product that can be connected to this Golem network, we can talk about it, because there is opportunity to help you with technology, to help you with product, to help you with finances. Just call me and we can talk and see if we can go together. So thank you for today. If you have questions, we can talk right now because we have 2 minutes, or we can talk off the stage. So if there is any questions? Any questions? No. So guys, thank you for today. My name is Szymon Paluch. If you want to contact me, here's my phone number and email address. And if you're interested in modern technologies, you can find me on Instagram, szymonpaluch.eth, TikTok, and even YouTube. Thank you for tonight, and it was great pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it was a pleasure to have also to have you here.